Hey guys, it's Lauren again, and once again, I'm recording while I'm in a sauna at the gym. This one event I want to talk about today, I learned it from a guy that I subscribe to on YouTube. His name is Mark Hutton. And he advised everybody to count your blessings about Asperger's and write down the good things about yourself with Asperger's and compare to the bad things and to compare both of them to what you've achieved. So here's some of the things about me. So I do want to say this in honor of Thanksgiving that happened last week. Here's some of the good things about myself, which I know it's kind of snotty. I'm very thankful that I'm not as severe as what I could be, and I'm also very thankful for a very supportive family. I am a health nut. I feel better when I work out. I do have a cosmetology license that I keep up with, despite the fact that I'm not able to hold down a job in that field thanks to my social skills and not my actual skills. I do have a college degree from a Christian school. I'm lucky I got through that with having Asperger syndrome. I'm thankful that I'm very research minded and I've always tried to do things based on research before I've ever made a big decision about anything. Another good thing I'm thankful for about one of my medical conditions is that it took being socially inappropriate to get somewhere for this one. And this is my interstitial cystitis. And I know for the average person, they probably wouldn't have done that. But it did take a long time to get stabilized. At least 5 years. Number 8, I'm very thankful that I'm able to afford the nice things that I do. You know, the good things about Asperger syndrome is that people with Asperger's probably are more likely to be millionaires than the average person because they're so detail oriented, and they say because of that will be millionaires because of how they handle money. And a lot of them are good at math too. So let me list some of the bad side effects that I've had thanks to Asperger's. Well, I will admit I have strange fears, and I think that those are sensory issues. It's a mild learning disability despite being intelligent in ways that normal people wouldn't experience. And I've had a lot of the physiological GI and urinary symptoms associated with sensory issues from Asperger's syndrome. Well, and let's go on to talk about the 3 big ones for me. I'm not going to go into detail about all my symptoms, but the big ones for me was emotional instability. And this emotional instability is what causes meltdowns. And for me, it was all related to constant anxiety and the pressure to be good all the time. Constant hurt feelings from people not understanding me, and some of the uppity kids bullying me. And when I was a freshman in high school, I learned that people with mental problems are more likely to make poor choices than people that don't have mental illness, which I don't know about that. Number 5, another big one was for me, was being denied employment and being denied of admission into the counseling psychology program at the school that I graduated from, when actually it should have been the opposite, and the professor was prejudiced against me because I had Asperger's, and he did not want me in that program, trust me. And that was really hurtful. And number 6 is the worst side effect of all for having Asperger's syndrome, and most definitely the most hurtful and embarrassing one, is having others see me as mean or lazy, etc., and so on. And I still hurt over anybody that ever said that to me to this day. Now, actually, I'm thankful for a lot of the good things that happened to me as a result of having Asperger's syndrome. I have persevered, according to my mom. I failed a lot of my classes in school, but I never stopped because I wanted that college degree more than anything. And because I failed some of my classes, it took me longer to graduate. But the good news is, when I did graduate, all along in school, I figured out ways to save money and pay on school immediately without having to take out any loans. And I paid for whatever financial aid didn't cover out of pocket, and that was a huge chunk. And I'm still haven't got recovered yet today. And that's been like 9 years ago. Resilience. Learn resilience when I have a bad meltdown, like most other Asperger's people do. When I feel better from it, I usually try to do something that relaxes me, like go to the gym or try to read a book. The next day, I usually pick myself up and go back on and try to accomplish whatever was upsetting me that I didn't achieve, no matter what it takes. And number 3, I've also learned to be an advocate for my own health and that doctors don't always listen to everything. And sometimes the patient has to be the one stepping up, and I'll talk to you about that in a future video. And number 4, I've learned how to advocate for others with Asperger syndrome. And number 5, I've decided I'm not going to sweat the small stuff when I have meltdowns, because I know that there is going to be people that judge me when I have meltdowns, and they're just going to have to judge me. And I know at the end of the day, when someone with Asperger's has a meltdown, it's not other people's job to judge them, because they can't help that. And having a meltdown, it's not really anything that you're going to regret at the end of the day, because as a Christian, I know that God knows my heart, and He knows the heart of everybody else that has Asperger syndrome. And I hope you all know that anyone that punishes you for having a meltdown or says anything doesn't obviously know what it feels like to have Asperger syndrome. Alright guys, I'm going to get off of here and I'll talk to y'all later, so bye.